Buenos dios, buenos dios, buenos dios. What it is, what it was, and what it shall be. What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, Dr. Will Rogers, a.k.a. Master Teacher 33. And today is Monday, February the 7th, 2022. And the time is 11:35 Central Time. Excuse me, but it's got a powerful message. You want to jump right in? How do you become so valuable that you cannot be dismissed? Wow. The whole purpose in life, one of the many, but one of the most important things is to become so valuable that your talent, your design, your giftedness, we can't function without it. See, when you get to that level where your value to the market, to your family, to yourself, is so immensely needed that it is unfathomable to be able to conjure up an ideal that, man, we're just going to go without you. So how do you become irreplaceable? How do you become the backbone, if you will, of, your frequency wave or vibration? Meaning the ability to be able to make your neurons fire faster, the ability to be able to communicate, to be able to transfer meaning to many different demographics. It makes you, palatable, meaning people may not agree, but they have to respect. Like a lot of people, they don't agree with me, but I've done the research, so therefore you have to respect. You have to give a certain amount of leadway to the discussion. So you want to be able to basically make yourself irreplaceable. So that way you become such an asset to yourself, to your organization, to the community. You want to be able to make yourself, I'm going to use the word changeable, not for people, but for growth or consciousness or awareness. So the whole purpose of the whole ideal is that everybody should be replaceable. This idea that everybody should be replaceable is the ideal that we're talking about. Meaning that there is this ideal that you go to a job or you go to wherever you go to, and people think that that you are replaceable. That's not true. So the ideal is people want you to feel like you are replaceable. So you got one job from the perspective of over the understanding that each and every person, you're not dismissible. You cannot be dismissible. You're not unreplaceable. You are not, the organization cannot function at its peak or at a high level without you. Once you become undismissible, bam, that's when the universe starts to open up for you, because you open up for yourself. So it all starts with where everything starts with for us, proper self-image. So in order for you to be undismissible, you have to have a certain amount of undisable imagery. And when we say undisable energy, it's an image that you have with yourself, that you're able to carry yourself, so that way you are not capable of being removed or taken away. And so that means that there has to be an image inside of yourself, like we talked about yesterday, that is incapable of being removed or taken away. So when we talk about how to train your brain so that way you don't experience, energy drain, it all starts off with a proper self-image. Now, the way that the proper self-image is established is what we talked about yesterday. And we talked about close your eyes. Visualize in your mind's eye, see yourself. Bam, that's it. That's that image we talked about. You got to be able to see that image. Then the next thing is you not only got to see the image, you got to feel the image, and you got to hear the image, meaning that you got to actually make statements. You got to use verbs and adverbs that are not subject to dismissal. So when I say a proper self-image, there's a lot of images out there that you can select from, but you should select a proper self-image. That makes you undismissable. I cannot dismiss you. You cannot be replaced. It's like even in relationships, you have to be so valuable to the relationship that the mate, the partner, see you as someone who they want to figure out a way. Hey man, we got to figure out a way to make this relationship work. Why? Because you are undismissable. You have so much worth and so much value that you bring to the table that I really don't want to move forward. I can, but I prefer not. So that means that the person, number one, thinks twice about before destroying the relationship, and the person puts in a little bit more functionality in the relationship. Why? Well, they see your worth and your value. And so when you have a proper self-image, that's where irreplaceability starts. Because a proper self-image is the ability for you to see your own worth and value. And if you can see, it's really, really interesting. I was talking, there's this one guy who's a high value coach. His coaching program starts off at like $50,000. And a lot of people, and he's a black guy, and a lot of his clients, they scrape, squabble, save up their life savings, and to go hang out with this guy for $50,000. And he remembered when he was charging $1,000 and was barely getting by. And he's one of these premium high-end coaches. Another guy that I know is this guy, Christian Michelson, and he's a white guy, same thing. You know, he's high-end coach, $50,000, $100,000. Here's a weekend retreat where you go and hang out, $100,000. And bam, he's always booked. In an economy where people are saying that there is no money, there is, blah, blah, blah. It's amazing, brothers and sisters, that, we've been taught that there is this thing of lack. And that's why I did the show yesterday, day before yesterday, when I was talking about getting rid of the scarcity energy imprint. A scarcity energy imprint is repulsive. It actually repels people because you have an energy of neediness. That, oh man, that is like, it's just a bad frequency wave of vibration. And it's sad because we all have been there. Some of you guys may still be there. It's natural because it's a healthy concern. If you got more blank than blank, of course, you're going to be concerned. And so that's a sense of scarcity. So scarcity is like when you was a child growing up, and that was, when you was a kid, okay, that's understandable. You're a child, from like 18 and under, people that get bullied and all this kind of stuff. Okay, that's the reason why that happened. You got a guy who's bigger than you, and so you're in your head, you cannot see, how can I defeat this guy? You just like, you don't know, I remember I'm speaking for myself because that's what I thought. It's like, man, I was getting bullied all the time and stuff because I was a new guy in the new neighborhood. Nobody knew me. I didn't know them, so I was shy and quiet, and I was from the country, and I was funky. And so I just had a lot of negatives going for me, and there's a lot of good reasons why. But what do? I get to do what I did. One day I just decided, that's it. It's crazy because all of the high-end guys who charge $50,000 for a coaching session, for their coaching program, $100,000 for a weekend retreat. These guys don't do. In fact, all of them tell me, like, man, dude, you should be working. You got way more content. You got way more books. None of these guys have enough content or the program that I have, but yet they make more money. And the only reason is it's my own fault. Because I'm a six. I'm for the underdog. And so as a six, what happens is, and this is why I talk about, Dr. Span a lot, because we both have that same issue. We really do care about people. We honestly do. what the Bible says, and I wrote the whole book, and that was 25, 30 years ago, and I'm still struggling with the same thing. It's not a struggle for me anymore. It's just a choice that I've made to give to, again, what I call the underdog. Now, there comes a point when it's either me or the underdog. So a lot of the underdog, now underdog is a vibration. It's a frequency. It's a wave. It's a way of thinking. It's not really real, but it is real because, like everything in life, it becomes real for us because we believe it. And so I've had to learn, and I'm still learning, and it's awesome because I like the journey. I really like the journey. I don't mind because I'm not in a rush because I know that I'm already wealthy. I'm already healthy. I'm already wise. Already in a great relationship. So I create, launch, run. We do the same thing. And so there's no such thing as the things that we think exist. They just only exist because we think they exist. Meaning what? They really do. There are really different levels of awareness or consciousness. There's no difference between you and a millionaire. Because you know that a lot of people don't listen to you unless you have money. You know that the same thing I was saying when I didn't have money, it's the same thing that I'm saying now when I got money. So the message didn't change. I've been doing Dear Canoe reports. When I started, I didn't have no money, and I was doing Dear Canoe reports. Now I got money, and I'm still doing Dear Canoe reports. But people listen. Why? Again, that's just the culture. That's just the dominant, the way that the system is set up. So, you know, I post pictures driving around in my Corvette. I post pictures of the house that's getting built. I post pictures, you know, when we do all of these Airbnbs and all of this stuff, because that's the way the culture is set up. I didn't set it up that way. That's just the way the system works. So everybody's visual. And you got you got to get my attention. You got 3 seconds. You know, people go on TikTok and you started talking, 3 seconds to 5 seconds, they click the like button and then they swipe. So TikTok, that actually works against you, and it reduces your views. So the job is to get people to listen to the whole video. That's why I never do a video on TikTok over 1 minute, because ain't nobody's attention span that long. So you got 1 minute on average. That's when your message is so powerful. You know, even you can save somebody's life, but you only got a minute to do it. Even if the content is great and somebody loves it, they still going to swipe off of it because they are addicted to the destination, not the journey. Just like me. That's the thing I had to get over. That's the thing you got to get over. So we are in a culture. Remember, this is not an individual slap on anybody. I went through it. Everybody go through it. And so your job is to understand that communication, how you communicate is how you transfer meaning. Well, we talked about that a little bit yesterday. Because we did not write the program. We just are controlled by it. So you gotta look at it. I didn't create TikTok. I didn't write Facebook algorithms. So Facebook changed their OIS system, and so a lot of people now have to totally change the way you do Facebook marketing. And so a lot of people start losing money. So Facebook does that on purpose. Because if you do if you really position the way the algorithm works, now you got to pay some money, but it works. What does that mean? If you want to scale, like for real, man, you find one of these digital marketers, they put your message in front of, they go through this whole stuff. Remember I was telling you guys this dude makes him like $1 million a week now. Back when I was, when I left, he was doing $1 million a month. He may be doing $1 million a day now, but he spends $700,000. He spends $300,000. And what? Ads. To do what? Put his face in front of your face. So y'all see those ads that pop up on Facebook? They're not there by a computer algorithm guarantees, and they can guarantee your ORI, your return on investment. Guaranteed. How? How can you guarantee me? Well, they got an algorithm. And this algorithm works 100% of the time. So what does that mean? That means that's why this guy makes so much money. Again, just go, Billie Jean, the company's name is Billie Jean Marketing. But when I started, listen to the guy, he was staying at his mom and daddy's house, and he had dropped out of San Diego College. Now the dude got private jets, planes, cars, speaks all over the world. Why? Why? What is different? We both started at the same time. We both started at the same time. He makes $1 million a day, pretty much. And we both started at the same time. Now he spends, his budget is like $300,000, and that's what he told me, Doc, you need to, hey, same thing he told me, I'm telling you. So my upline is telling me the same thing I'm telling you. The guys, the people that I take advice from, that make $1 million a day, you got to be unreplaceable, irreplaceable. This dude guarantees a double on your ROI, your return on investment. If you give him $5, he guarantees in writing you get back 10. You give him 10, you get back 20. So if you're an investor, that's pretty good. But how does he guarantee? Well, he got a computer algorithm that takes your message, but they help you do what? They help you phrase your funnel, your message, by number one, you got to get my attention. If you go to Billy Genius Marketing and you go to his YouTube channel, the dude dresses up. They do full-blown videos that look like a, Hollywood production. He spends a lot of money on the video aspect of it. Why? Become so valuable that your talent cannot be dismissed. Become so valuable that your design, your gift, your product, your service, and your information, I cannot get to where I'm going without you. So the question is, how did you do that? How did Billie Jean do it? Same thing I'm telling you. Now remember, I'm here by choice. Meaning, if I do what the Bible says, ruthless men retain wealth. Now remember, I've been knowing this. I'm just a 6. I like people. And so I'm comfortable. I'm doing good. So if I want to make $1 million a day, most of you guys, we probably wouldn't be friends. Because you would see me and you would see what I'm doing and the way that I'm talking, and it would hurt your feelings. And because I would hurt your feelings, because I would be blunt, because ruthless men retain wealth. Wealth is not a feeling. From the perspective of concern with other people's feelings. Wealth is an algorithm. Money is a science. That's what Wallace Waddles, that's why I gave you guys that book, The Science. Money is mathematics. Math don't have feelings. Math has facts. See, let me make sure you guys understand. People seek affirmation, not information. Everybody on this call, you are here to affirm what you already know. You're not here to gain information that you need to grow. That's basic psychology in sales. Now, all my millionaire friends, now remember, I got all my people that I hang out with, people I get advice from, they make $1 million a day, easy. They got, jets and, all of this good stuff. My boy Bob Proctor, one of my gurus from back in the day, just passed away. Basically, he said the same thing. Now, so what am I saying? If you talk to, let's say, Bezos, he would pretty much tell you the same thing. All millionaires understand the same thing. This is not personal. When you make things personal, you neuter your potential because your feelings get involved. And so my job is just to tell you the truth. I am designed by God, however, a little differently than some and most of my millionaire buddies. One of my guys, Grant Cardone. I know you guys all have heard of Grant Cardone. Back in the day before I got to this level of knowledge, I took a lot of way back in the day, and I tell you guys about a guy by the name of Robert Allen. And this is going way back in the day. It's extremely important, brothers and sisters, that at least you are aware you cannot lie to yourself. I cannot sit here and talk to, if I cannot be for the underdog. I cannot have love and compassion for my fellow man, but then also try to say and go hang out with Grant Cardone and go take his class and his course. I'm just wasting my money. I can't not go hang out with, man, I can't forget the old boy's name. I would just tell you what man, his name will come to me. $100,000 that he charges for his coaching program. 10 years ago, he told me that, Doc, you stupid, Doc. You're wasting your time. You're trying to save people that don't want to be saved. You have a message, but you're directing it to the wrong audience. There's people on this call that I've known, some of you guys that, like this, whether this show, like none of my gurus recommend that I continue to do what I do. That's why Source Code kind of shut the whole YouTube channel. The YouTube channel getting deleted was a blessing because all my millionaire friends told me to do that shit a long time ago. They told me to stop doing this, giving away free content. They don't do it. You don't see none of the guys, none of the gurus that are billionaires and millionaires that make $1 million a day do what I do. They know their worth and their value. They become so valuable that their talent cannot be dismissed. You cannot argue. Now, you may not like it, but you cannot argue because the proof is in the pudding. So now, do you got to be that? I'm going to use the term that the Bible used, cutthroat. Now, if you want Oprah Winfrey money, yes. So I am really interested in Oprah Winfrey money. That's why I don't have to be ruthless. I have to be cutthroat. Because contrary to popular belief, as I wrote inside of my book, The Ultimate Secret to Being Rich, which is why most black boys, why you cannot be rich and be a Christian. You cannot. You cannot be rich and care. It's not those two things like oil and water. Ruthless men retain wealth. Proverbs 11:6. Now, it's very interesting, out of all of the scriptures and all the stuff we talk about, we're talking about how do you become so valuable that you cannot be dismissed. I can't fire you. My company would not work without you. I got one of the girl that does my dignity report. She cannot be dismissed. She could charge money. She probably don't know it. Whatever she told me, I would pay. Now, I pay her really good. I mean, everybody in her family, everybody that knows, I pay her really good money to do process dignity reports. Why? She cannot be dismissed. Why? She got too much worth and value. Because she can do 5, everybody else that I have that's working, they can do maybe 1, maybe 2 dignity reports a day. She can do 5 a day. I don't know how she does it, but she does. And I check them, and then they right. They may have a couple of errors here and there, but for the most part, she been working for me for, just a little over a year, 2 years now. I just did a 1099. Shit, I'd be surprised how much money I pay her. Why, though? Her talent is so valuable that it cannot be dismissed. Most people do not seek information that brings about transformation. Most people seek validation of the current affirmation, meaning people listen to affirm. People listen to appease. Both is human nature. So I'm just pointing out what my gurus point out to me. So my upline, if you want to use that term. And they tell me the same thing I'm telling you. Is that you got to get to a point in your life where your worth and your value is not based upon affirmation and appeasement. Your worth and your value is based upon facts and information. Very few people have facts and information. Very few people have facts and information. Facts. It's like an algorithm. It's a computer that guarantees your ROI every single time. Because the computer, the artificial intelligence has run database, has run a code, an algorithm over everybody in your different demographics. And they know exactly what they're going to do. So this is what the rich people do. This is what Blackwater is. Black Rock, I should say. They are the company that's buying up all the real estate all over the world. Most people don't even know, have never even heard of, Black Rock Investment Management Company. There are three main companies that basically are buying everything because the powers now, you should ask who are the owners. You'll find most of the presidents and most of the people. That's a whole other story for another time, but I need to tell you why they can do what they do with 1,000% confidence and you can't. You write a book or you start a business and you do this, that, and other, what you got? You hoping and you wishing that it works because you don't have an algorithm. So your job and my job is to become an algorithm. So the way that you become an algorithm is for you to have number one, you got to have an algorithm self-image. You got to have, now remember the word algorithm simply means that everything goes to one rhythm. Rhythm is a beat. It's a frequency. It's a wave. It's a verb. It's a vibration. So the number one thing that you got to do is you got to have one frequency, wave, verb, or vibration. And all of your energy is in line with that design. It doesn't matter what it is. Now, I just teach that it should be in line with your God-given design. Why? Because you don't got to learn nothing. I don't have to wake up every day and try to market or try to come up with a new way of doing stuff. I don't have to try to figure out what am I going to do today. I don't have to even know my market. Because I don't have to study my market to see what they like and don't like because I'm my market. So what did I was telling, my youngest brother was over here yesterday. He's a police officer. And a lot of he's my brother. And we was talking, and then I talked to him all the time. And he's like, man, bro, I need to get out of law enforcement, man. We dropping like flies. Man, they killing us, blah, blah, blah. And he's telling me what's going on in law enforcement as a black police officer. See, people don't really understand. People be hating on cops. Man, you see a black cop, you should walk over there and shake his hand. You have no idea what he's going through. One of our best friends that was on San Antonio PD, he quit. Opened up a boxing gym. Then and I don't know if that didn't work, blah, blah. The wife told me she saw a couple of days ago that he's working at Amazon now. Working at Amazon, like packing boxes. He was a vet. Dude had how long was military? He was in the police department at least 15 years. They were setting him up. He was going to crimes in his own. I have no idea what it's like to be a black police officer in a white culture. And black people hate black cops. You should walk over. You should buy that dude lunch. You should a black cop, man. You should walk, man. Let me pay for that for you, bro. He probably won't let you. He's so paranoid. What the hell you think I got out of it? He ain't got no backup. His police chief, the chief of police was trying to set the dude up. The chief. Man, you better take your resources to someplace where you are elevated instead of tolerated. To be, number one, you got to have a proper self-image. And we can stop there because number two is based upon number one. You got to go where you are validated, not where you are tolerated. And I'm not talking about validated because you need the validation. I'm talking about validated because you are valuable. So you have to go where, we don't pick our market picks us. You got to talk to people who see your worth and your value. You know how you know that they see your worth and your value? It's like all my gurus. They all tell me. The dude that charges $100,000, he has a waiting list. Jeff Cardone, he had a waiting list. This young little young cat, I forgot his name. I turned my daughter on to him. He does event space. You guys see all of his stuff on Facebook. Tall, skinny guy. Started when he was 18. Young brother. I couldn't really benefit from his program, so I hooked him up with my daughter. The guy, I think he has a Rolls Royce Phantom or Ghost. He doesn't own the private plane, but he only flies. He doesn't fly commercial. He just flies. But young dude. Dude, maybe he's 23. Maybe he's 23. And he's all he does is event space. He makes all of his money. And the dude makes way more money than me. And he's maybe 23. I think he's maybe 21. Started when he was 18. But he's valuable. Become so valuable that your talent cannot be dismissed. The only way for you to become so valuable is you got to be authentic. You got to be yourself. You got to have a valuable self-image. So everybody on this call, we all, myself included, I know y'all love where you are at. I love where I'm at. I love the people. I love you guys. I love what I'm doing. I love my family, my friends. But remember, brothers and sisters, you never have to disconnect from anybody. You just spend less time with them. I have family members that are religious zealots. All my sisters and brothers, Jesus Christ and crucified. So I don't try to change them. I just don't spend time with them. So all my gurus, I spend time with them. Now, when I say spend time, I don't call them. I don't go to their house. I listen to their products. I listen to their shows. Their YouTube. Same thing that you guys do. I do the same thing. I just listen to some different people probably than you do. And I take advice from different people probably from you do. And so the people that I take advice from, people that I listen to, they are not dismissible. You cannot dismiss Grant Cardone. You can, but it would not be in your best interest. You cannot dismiss Billie Jean. You can, but if you want to be successful, yeah. There's another company called 4080 Marketing. They are an offshoot. They're one of the people. And there's this other lady in Dallas also. These are all people who were what's the word I'm looking for? They went through Billie Jean's course. So since I didn't go through I got one of my wife's nephews, and I paid a part of his cost to go through it. Why? I don't want to learn it, but I pay for somebody else to learn it. Who do you think he's gonna work for when he get out of class, or work with? So I ain't interested, but I'm getting the knowledge by sending somebody else to get it. So just because you don't like something yourself, I remember I pay somebody to do my DLT reports for me. So I delegate the things that I'm not either good at or that I don't like. That's not a natural expression of the soul. Meaning, I'm not really interested in going behind the doors, Facebook algorithms, and doing all that stuff. I was talking to my youngest brother, going back to the story, and he was telling me he's getting ready to enroll in. Remember, I told you guys every time I talk to him, he has another school he wants to go to get certified to do what I'm already doing with no certification. It's like the young people who go, like my own daughters, who went to college to get a degree from a professor who never practiced and who never did what he's teaching them to do. And so you're learning to do something from somebody who's never done it. And you're going to go out and do something that you've never done. Does that make sense to you? That shit does not make sense to me. That's why I dropped out of college. Now, I just cherry picked at the classes in biology and stuff that I wanted. That's why my PhD is not from a traditional college, because traditional college says you got to take all of your hours from my school and this topic. I don't do that. I develop my own program. What does that mean? Well, that means that I'm not going to study things that I'm not going to use in business or in my personal life. So I'm not just taking classes to be taking them. because I want to become so valuable that I cannot be dismissed. So when I talk, I want people to listen. So when I post TikTok videos, I go to my TikTok video and I look like last night I posted, okay, got 5,000 views. Okay. It would take me a year to get 5,000 views on my YouTube channel. But number one, I get attention. And number two, I offer value. Brothers and sisters, how do you become so valuable that you can't be dismissed? Number one, you have to establish your proper self-image. Your self-image is not proper. You got an awesome self-image, but it's not proper. By proper self-image, I mean that you must see yourself as the individual expression of God on earth. What does that mean? That simply means that everything exists at the same time. All you got to do is align your mind with what you want to shine. So I just align my mind with my shine. So my shine already exists. So does yours. So now I got different levels of shine. So do you. It's just called frequencies. So my shine is my frequency code. My core frequency code is 6. So I know I'm not designed by God to have Oprah Winfrey money, because you can't have Oprah Winfrey money and be a 6. Because 6 is we have compassion that comes from details. But the details take time to acquire. So I don't seek outside affirmation because I have inside revelation. But now if I was an 8 or 1, yeah, because then I could be cutthroat. So I know that doesn't mean, but my satisfaction does not come from having a private jet. My satisfaction does not, I don't want to be Billie Jean. I don't want to be Grant Cardone. I don't want to take a plane from Oregon to California every day. I don't want to do that. But that's why I don't have that kind of money. I don't want to live in another state than what I work in or drive in. I don't want to spend all my time on an airplane because I like simplicity. But I'm a 6 though. So $365,000 a year, I'm pretty much good. I can take care of myself. I can do very well with $1,000 a day. So I can live like a billionaire because the goal is not money. The goal is journey. Make sure y'all, let me close with that. I'll have to go and pick out the colors and stuff for the new house. Me and my wife have an appointment with the builders and stuff. That's why I did the show earlier today. Remember, how do you become so valuable that your talent cannot be dismissed? I got to hire you. I cannot ignore you. Your image, your energy, your worth and your value that you exude and it's not flashy. It's not like the little girl that works for me don't even know her worth and her value, but she exudes it. But I can see it. That's why I pay her so much money. Everybody else around her don't understand her. The other little nephew and stuff, they say, well, why did you work? Because they've asked me, hey, Mr. Will, I can work. I like to work with you, How come I didn't hire them? You know what she had? She had an internal confidence. And it was just like my wife. Why did I marry my wife? So I married my wife because she had the same thing that the little girl that I married that hired has. And what is that? That is a stability or a stick-to-itiveness. That's an inner confidence that says, just my wife. My wife, I love you. I want to be with you. But if you can't act right, you got to go. Now, I don't want you to go. So, just like when I left, when our relationship went bad, and I left, you know what my wife did? She cried, but she moved on. That's self-worth. She did not. My wife has a friend that came over yesterday. Husband beats her, sleeps around, treats her like trash. I mean, bad. This shit been going on since I've known my wife. So the inquiring mind should say, she should ask, How come my wife got her husband back and I didn't? Or how come I'm able to treat my wife the way she should be treated, loved, valued, and respected? And there's really three of my wife's friends that she goes to church with. They single. Every man that they get, they can't keep. Why? Is it the man's fault? Mm-mm. The women, they have no worth and value. They don't see themselves as irreplaceable. Brothers and sisters, the secret to life is your own self-image. People treat you the way you treat yourself. It's not activity, it's energy. I hire energy. I hang out with energy. I only hang out with energy. People who exude the same or higher level of energy. So I don't want to go back down. So this is called a high frequency code. I got it. I recommend you get it. So a high frequency code is not fake. It does require effort. What is the effort? The effort is, shit, I got options. See, a high value nigga, this is the only thing that I do like about Kevin Samuels. The only problem I have with Kevin Samuels is he thinks that high value has to do with $400,000 because he says a high value man, he puts it at 400. He puts a monetary amount. You can be a high vibrational Negro and you can make $20,000 a year. And you could live like a millionaire off of $20,000 a year because high value has nothing to do with paper. High value has to do with you not being dismissed. Other people will pay for your shit. Your gift will make room for you and take you before kings. The king will bring in, hey, grant this fool some land. Make him my assistant. I need his energy around me. Is your energy, do you ever notice how people feel around you? I have people calling me and, I usually send out, I got cousins and nephew, and, I monitor it. The wife doesn't, the wife thinks I'm like, you shouldn't do that. But I'm a six. Like yesterday, I must have sent out, a couple of $100. Why? Hey, bro, hey, cuz, I need some gas money. Or I need this, I need that. But I'm a six. I just monitor it. So I'm not going to give away all my money. I ain't stupid. But at the same time, I'm not going to stop being me. And you can't stop being you. Now, if you're not a six, you shouldn't do what I do. You should do 7 stuff, or 3, or 5, or 8, or whatever your number is. But the point is, you got to know it, though. Because what does that do to me? That makes me feel magnanimous. Helping the underdog makes me feel magnanimous. So, because I send, I'm always sending. That's why I'm always receiving. It's impossible for me to be broke unless I don't know it. Unless I don't know my own worth and my own value. Because the dominant culture tells me you have no worth and no value unless you got on skinny jeans, you got your hair up in a bun. You look, I can't tell if you're a male or a female. You got to be, you got to be transgender. You got to be unisex. You got to be retrosex. You got to drive this. You got to drive that. That's the dominant culture telling me my image. I don't do that. My image is set and shown by a source. I'm a 336. I'm a creative creator that loves to express my compassion in the form of details. Because of that, I have worth and value. But the worth and value doesn't come from what I do. The worth and value comes from who I be. Some of you guys are not being authentic. Like I told Billie Jean, I like Billie Jean. He my boy. We both started from Pole with nothing. He makes $1 million a day. He said, Doc, I respect you. But I don't understand you. Well, he's an 8. I'm a 6. I got my own son, Kendrick. He's the same way. We don't agree upon a lot of things. Because he's an executioner. I'm a compassioner, a executioner off with his head. They don't think. The king says, cut his head off. Bam, they cut off his head. I'm a compassioner. A compassioner has the ability to come and pass eye on. So I come and I pass my third eye on. I know who I am. You know who you are. If you don't know who you are, you have no worth and no value in the marketplace. You can get punked. Because some other Negro is going to come and tell you, put on them skinny jeans. You're going to do it. But you don't know who you are. Not you personally, but people you know. So a proper self-image establishes worth and value that is not dismissible because it is so unique. Nobody in the marketplace has it. There ain't no other doctor. There's only one Dr. Span. Dr. Span has to know her worth and her value. So is it worth it to be right? Or is it worth it to be rich? Now, see, I ain't interested in being right. I don't give a mother if Jesus Christ is Lord or not. I don't care if Muhammad, Buddha, any of them mother. I don't care. I'm not interested in being right. I'm interested in being rich. Because the dominant culture has twisted those terms. See, we think right and rich are the same. People don't really understand how they, whoever they are, we don't know who they are, how they have conned us. So if you do not understand, overstand, and understand that they tricked us from being sovereign to being a citizen. That's what we do under People Development Center. Brothers and sisters, you are. And because you don't know who you are, when I say you are an individual expression of God, you're not a corporation. You're not a corpse. You should not be operating under law. The Bible says we're no longer under the law. The word law means land, air, water. You ether, bruh. You ether, sis. You ain't land, you ain't air, you ain't water. And you contain those, but the way that they con you and me is they got you to be a city servant. The word citizen means city, then means serve. You are here to serve the city. No, not me. I'm here to serve source. I work for source, bro. I'm an individual expression of God on earth. So you can't con me or make me feel less than because I don't want to be a citizen. I'm a sovereign. Once you become a sovereign, you become an individual. Then you have a proper self-image. Now, you ain't got to know all of that. You know, go into detail. We're breaking it all down in the People Development Center. We're going to break it down even more tonight, and especially when we get into Module 4 and 5. But for right now, all you got to know is I'm a sovereign. I'm an individual expression of God on earth. Therefore, I take my orders from the King, not none of these low vibrational peasants. So nobody can come and tell me. Now, I'm not saying you be arrogant and cocky. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I go where my energy is elevated, not tolerated. I talk. Somebody try to talk over me, I stop talking. I go to a group. I sit in the back. If nobody looks at me and say, hey, man, so you got anything that you need to say? Who are you? Where you from? I will go to church, sit in the back, and I won't say shit. Game recognizes game. I don't have to talk. Neither should you. You should just go to Walmart. Somebody should walk up to you and say, excuse me, what do you do for a living, man? That happens to me. You know how many times it happens to me? It should happen to you. Why? I cannot be dismissed. My energy cannot be dismissed, brother. My energy cannot be dismissed, sister. Some of you guys are trying to fit your energy in somebody else's box. I'm not putting my energy in no damn skinny jeans. What the hell I look like? I do not fit in no other Negro's box. You can't put no label on me. What is my belief system? Nobody knows. Because one day I'm talking to them, well, he sounds like a Christian. Next day, shit, that nigga sound like an atheist. Next day, well, shit, he was talking that Zen Buddha shit. The next day, I'm talking something down, that sounds like Sufism. Next day, I'm talking something, you can't put me in no box. Bruh, can't put no title and no label on me. They should not be able to put a title and a label on you either. You're sovereign. That's the only title or label you need. Brothers and sisters, you have to cellular up your antenna. You are, and you have a spiritual antenna. Each cell in your body is an individual expression of source code on earth. I'm here as God's representative to remind you, you are undescribable. There are no words that can describe who you are. We use the word wave. You have chosen, agreed to, drop down into a particle. As a particle, you are here collecting experiences. You are not your experiences. You're not your thoughts. You have thoughts. You have experiences, but you're not limited by them. Those are labels. Those are terms, frequencies, waves, and vibrations. You are above all of that. If you not establish a proper self-image, what happens is you become the thing that you're supposed to manage. You limit yourself based on how you identify yourself. Let me say it again. You limit yourself based upon how you identify yourself. I recommend that you identify with the unidentifiable. I recommend that you become unlimited. I recommend that you become all-knowing. I recommend that you become all-power. I recommend that you become all-present. I recommend that you become all-simple. I recommend that you become all-loving or benevolent. Those are the 5 attributes and characteristics of Source. That's who I am. I am an individual expression. I am a drop of Source in a dry desert. I'm a light in a dark room. So are you. Do not limit yourself, because then you become dismissible. Once I label you, I lame you. Once I name you, I tame you. Be untamable. Be like the wind. Be like a wild horse. You can't put no bridle and no saddle. Can't ride me, bruh. Shit ain't happening. You have to be an individual expression of God on earth. If you identify with anything else, if you're a black man, if you are, a Rosh Hashanah man, you're a Christian, if you, whatever you identify yourself at, you lame yourself at that level. Stop limiting yourself. Become unlimitable, unlabelable, undismissable. You need the universe, because I am the universe. So are you. Brothers and sisters, do not allow someone to tame you. Be sovereign. This is your boy, Dr. Will Rogers, a.k.a. Master Teacher 33. Become so valuable that your talent cannot be dismissed. I love you. Appreciate you. We'll see you guys later on tonight. God bless.